Hi, gorgeous, gorgeous light beings. This is Heidi. You're watching a Journey Now video. It's been a few weeks since we touched base. October, really, right, guys? So, what do you guys think about October? I'm getting the goosies already because the energies are coming in, and we want to talk about October. Was quite rough, wasn't it, for a lot of us, me included. I'd like to say rough and a little bit turbulent in ways, though, that I understood. So this is what we're going to address today is new waves of coding coming into the planet during these times. What does that mean for us as light workers and light beings on the planet? What's going on with all of our tribe? Because that's what you guys are. I mean, I'm your tribe, you're my tribe, we're all one, and you don't end up following someone on a channel if you don't belong to that tribe. And then, of course, you can check in and out when you see fit. But for now, we all have coding to serve to each other as a tribal community of light beings that resonates to certain frequencies. So that's how we get collectives, you guys, is we join forces. I love that. We join forces. It's like having warriors. We're a group of light warriors, they say, and it's almost like we are readying our army for this gigantic battle, which is already taking place and we are already participating in. So for October, myself and my sister Amber, we had gotten together to do a video a few weeks back for intentionally to connect with a specific viewer on this channel who we had been reached out from. And the way that technology works, you guys, have you guys noticed an influxation in technological glitches, errors? I mean, simply put, technology is not up to par. It is not working the way it usually does. We're seeing a ton of glitches in the system, and that's desirable, is what they want to say. That's what we want to see. We want to see those disturbances coming up because, and this is going to play into the whole pandemic as well, and all of the inflictions in the world that are, okay, they're calling it the crusade. So the things that are being fought for right now and that we're viewing is wonderful. So it's like we can look at it in the way where it's very terrible because it's causing these upheavals, but it's so wonderful to see. And it's so wonderful to notice. So if you're a light being, a big chunk of being a light being is having a consciousness about you that allows you to discover, attune, and connect to what is playing out, because there's so many people who have no idea, right? And so we're not trying to use these words to make us feel special or to make others excluded. They're simply saying it's like having a secret society. Like, don't we get that feel for it? But we don't want to be a secret society because that plays into the whole lower forms, and then we get attachments to the wording itself because there's been so much misusage of that classification of secret societies, and the ones that have been primarily abundant on the planet have not been working for the good. So I'm simply saying secret society in the lightest of ways here. So don't feel triggered by the use of the words. I had a wonderful lady who had explained to me yesterday, who is actually on the Board of Education here where I live, because I'm dealing with the school system directly right now. That I have a part to play with the school system. And if you watch my videos, I do speak sometimes of the school system. It's just a passion for me of a system that needs major change. And she had told me that when we are faced with words that catch our attention, so this being is speaking in 3D language, is a very 3D based. And so they want me to come into some sort of description here. So when we're labeling people 3D, 5D, I'm not saying this lady is 3D only. I'm just simply saying she is doing work in the 3D system. So her language and her consciousness will remain in 3D, even though she's doing 5D work. And that is certainly possible. So she had been explaining to my eldest son, who struggles so much in the system. When we come into words that trigger or catch our attention, if we don't understand what's being used or said, we can simply pull in a new word. And we find when we communicate with multidimensional beings in higher planes, so my sister points this out quite often as well, they will use more than one possible word. So it isn't because you have to take the one word, it is a frequency of wordings and they all fit together. And so it's choosing one that you're comfortable with. So you can do that whenever you feel word triggers. Think about the word, figure out why that triggered you, and if necessary, have yourself or your guides drop in a new word to replace the one that is uncomfortable to you. And then it becomes your journey to work out why is that uncomfortable and why is that a trigger. Okay, so that speaking, they want me to really understand and to help bring this into the light of this community, that there are many tribes taking form and taking shape, many, I'm just going to do away with that word. I don't like it at all. Society. Let's just get away. Okay, so they don't want me to use that word. I'm just going to drop that word. We are finding ourselves sitting in these pods of groups of people for a reason right now. So October was very loud. There's lots of interplay. There's people out there that don't like the word loud. So get over yourself in a nice way. I love you. I love you. Don't get caught up in those small triggers. They're not necessary to spend so much time on, because we are approaching an era where language is going to be redefined. Language as we know it, because we are not just speaking it any longer. We are not just using the human template of language, because that's what it is. It's a human template. So we are advancing and it's wonderful. We are evolving. That's what we've been trying to do. So within our clans, our tribes, very much us as a group and whatever groupings that you are involved with, the time is pressing, not that we will run out, because there's so many people out there that are giving, they really don't like my words today. They're making me really think about the language. Okay. There's so many of us throwing out words that are triggering feelings and emotions that are not helpful. That's the nice way to say it. So if you're watching videos, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these people, but you should never, ever be feeling left behind. You should never, ever be feeling from a guide or a mentor like you are lacking or not worthy of the journey that you're on. And you should never compare and say, well, this person said this and that makes my journey not legitimate any longer, because it does not fit into the other individual's idealistic opinion. So do not ever feel shamed by a mentor or a guide, anybody that is speaking to you, with you, for you, from you. Do not ever allow that. My throat is getting itchy. So you see I have my necklace on because I'm working through some throat chakra resistance to my own light language. And I know I have told you guys I'm really trying, and I know that I will speak it. And again, within my own journey, accept and allow. I know it's okay that I am not there yet, but I know it's coming, and I'm getting my own light language voice And I'm very excited to hear it. Like, I want to know, what does my light language sound like? Being that I'm totally different being than my sister Amber, who's been speaking it for a good couple years now fluently. Mine will sound completely different. Now it's itching again because it's actually trying to activate within me. So that will be coming shortly. I actually wasn't quite sure if it might come out today. And if it does, I'm sorry, it might sound strange because I have not spoken it yet out loud. So today's video is even on that topic. We are going to be stepping into our authentic, true selves. Once again, that's all we can do. That is what we are here to do. Each and every one of you watching here has a special gift to open up for all of us collectively. And so as mentors, guides, and teachers during this ascension and this whole process, my goal and intention for the viewers who are tuning in and matching this whole frequency is to have you step into your gifts, because you're also here because you have gifts that I would like to receive, that my sister will be receiving from you. So we are all of equal value completely. So let's all work on stepping into our own gifts, because we all carry codes in our divine blueprints, personal coding. The snowflake, we're such wonderful snowflakes. Nobody is going to carry the same code as you, which is why you need to open up and deliver. I know you're all sitting there wanting to deliver. So rest easy, my loves. We're going to work on that today. So today's video is actually the drawing template, or the activation from my sister Amber, has been drawn weeks prior to this in a video that was supposed to be delivered. And technology stepped in and it shut that down multiple times. Philip, you know who you are. You know I'm talking to you. This drawing is your drawing. And I know that when you're watching this, I know you don't mind me sharing it, because it was actually birthed for this collective specifically. So today's video is one that tried to come out a few weeks ago, and unfortunately now is going to be airing without Amber, because she doesn't live where I live, and she had journeyed out here, and technology would not have it. We were squashed completely numerous times where the cameras just kept shutting down. So today I'm allowed to actually share and participate in this activation that Amber drew weeks ago for this community, and in particular was requested by Philip. So this is a heart expansion activation. So I'm going to try and get this all in here. This is it here. Take a good look. You can screenshot that if you want and use it. So this is heart expansion into 5D sensory system alignment. So it sounds like a mouthful. Simply put, we are going to expand our heart space, heart chakras, into a higher alignment. This is going to, there it goes again, gift us a catalyst into our own light. I love that, into our own light. Okay, so I've shown you the drawing. We have some beautiful crystals. I love my crystals. They are actually some of my best friends. That sounds so odd. Actually, most of my friends, I don't have many human friends. I'm sure we all don't. Most of us don't, because we're so strange to people residing in denser humanism. That's what I'm going to call it, denser humanism. So we all seem quite strange. And I know that's not a surprise. We have all been sitting in that weird category since we were born. So there's so many light workers out there that don't have physical human friends. And if you do, awesome that you brought them in. Awesome, because we all have different journeys, but there's also a truth to be told about having 3D friends, and living a separate life. So most of us light beings are sitting and living and existing in two playing fields, and we got to balance. Most people have a hard time balancing one, just living their regular day-to-day human lives. Us as light workers are balancing and living two completely filled, because that's the thing, they're full, completely full lives. So it becomes a juggling act, and we will actually find ourselves balancing 3D friends, living separate lives. And so it can get frustrating at times. And what you'll find is you'll gravitate towards your choice of friendships. Mine happen to be plants, mine happen to be animals and crystals. And I become very attached to my plants, my animals, and my crystals. And I consider them my family and my friends, much more so than the human beings present in my life. That's a reality for lots of us. So I've got my wonderful, beautiful crystals to open our heart spaces that are coming to work with us today. So we have our beautiful rose quartz. It carries its own love frequency and heart space frequency. When we start stepping up into understanding of frequencies, the different chakras and the different color alignments, and we start to play with our own color palette. We all have our own color palette, which is really our aura and our light. So I'm a BlueRay, and this crystal here for me represents my BlueRay self and my BlueRay heart expansion. And so I always have my BlueRay heart along with my rose quartz, and this is blue calcite, I believe. We just chipped a little piece off of that, and actually when that happens, they go into my candles. So it's actually happening to go into a particular candle. This candle will be obviously heart expansion, and I'll use the piece that just chipped off here. So we have these two precious heart stones, and then we have our selenite, which is going to clear and balance and just hold space for our intentions to be pure. So that's what we're working today with, along with the visual. One more look here. Okay, so I want us to all really take a moment here to sit in our own heart intentions. And so that really means we want to step outside of the mind. We can center, we step into the third eye. There's a process, and we each will find our own way to whatever works best, but this is how I go in. I drop into my third eye, and then I communicate from that point, and I find my own heart space. Our heart space is actually in the middle. It isn't on the right or the left. The true heart space, the true heart, new human avatar heart. There's a lot to be said that will unfold in the future timelines about what our bodies are doing right now as they are converting from carbon-based to crystalline. And we are actually, I don't know if it's so much that we are restructuring genetically. I believe that plays a part, but it's almost opening up to something that was there, that was veiled. And that's a good way to put it, they say, because when we talk about breaching 3D matrices and we want to go up, that's really going to be how to look at it. Everything has always been there. We're stepping into something not because it's been created anew, it's because we are removing a veil and exposing our senses to something that our sensory system has now become developed to respond to. So that's the best way I can describe what's going on physically for us during this time. Is there's so much change genetically in all areas and all the many layers, and we even have our own ley lines. All of the, like, we're onions for sure. every single layer is balancing, coming into alignment, expanding, releasing the old, accepting the new. The chrysalis, the caterpillar, the butterfly. This is true, you guys, and that's happening to us. And so October was crazy loud for disturbances in the physical, in all areas. So this really amounts to much, much heavier symptoms, ascension symptoms. So we've all been feeling them. I hope we're getting at a place, though, where we recognize what ascension symptoms feel like when we are going through our own cyclings, because we will follow particular cycles, and we become aware, just like any cycle, any like menstrual cycles, we become aware of our own cycling in our bodies. So ascension symptoms are no different, and you'll find yourself going in and out and in and out of these ascension symptom cycles. And really what we want to do is just become aware now. Wait a minute, there's ascension symptoms physically present now, and what shall I do to make it easier? And one of the best ways is to expand our heart space so that we can become 5D capable. That's the best way to put it, 5D capable. And once we become 5D capable, we become able to express our divine gifts. So we're going to do that. We're going to do the hand mantras, which is my form of light language. That's how I bring through my codes. We're going to do some work with that using the BlueRay light, which is my own. So we're going to have a lot of high coding coming in, and I'm sure lots of you out there right now, because this is a heavy symptom for me, is the ringing of the itchy ears, the ringing in the ears. And I quite often am like, oh, I'm going through my own ascension symptoms physically because my ears get so itchy and they ring and they ring. So these symptoms that are physically manifested, they're actually real. You feel them no different than you would feel, you know, a stroke, a heart attack, a real physical ailment. So it can become discerning to us as light workers when we're not certain, not sure. Is there something really wrong? Do I need to check into a hospital, see a doctor? Or can I get through this on my own because I'm aware of my own self? I can reach out to my guides and understand that I am simply expanding. So I'm not here to tell you when to see a doctor, when to decide for yourself if it's ascension based and you can handle it. Those choices are yours. I am just telling you that we are going through this right now, all of us, and we just need a little help, and that's what's coming through. Easing into these transitions. And so they want me to start. They're already here, and we have Arya. She's Pleaidian. She's my Pleaidian higher self or guide, which is essentially me. And then we have my BlueRay self. I don't talk much about her. I've been dealing with her for about 2 years now. And the reason I don't talk so much about her is just that there isn't a whole lot of database for BlueRays on the planet right now that I feel comfortable with, as well as just the fact that there just isn't a whole lot of it. So, I mean, what are BlueRays? I can go into my videos. They will have me do segments on them once I have connected more so to that individual essence of organic nature, because that's in my organic nature, this BlueRay. And she is actually Mintalkin. Again, I'm not here today to talk about my BlueRay self. I'm just letting you know these are the energies coming in to be worked with. But they're beautiful. They're gorgeous, gorgeous energies, and they hold frequencies of the sea, of the ocean, and of the dolphins, of the whales. I can't tell you enough about how healing BlueRay energy is. If this is something because I know there's many BlueRays watching this, that even don't know what a Blu-ray is, and they don't understand that that's what they are. Follow your true heart. If you start getting those inklings, there's a reason. And I'm telling you, there's Blu-rays watching right now. So we need you Blu-rays, you beautiful Blu-rays, to open your divine talents. I like that. And I get the goosies because they like that too. So here we go. And my tongue is like it wants to speak. I have no idea if I'm going to say weird stuff right now or not. If I do, you're going to see that I'm embarrassed. I'm no different than you. It's not something I normally do. I'm very shy in nature. I'd be the kid that never put their hand up in class. So, I mean, if weird sounds come out of me publicly on video, you're going to see me react probably with embarrassment. And that's normal. And there's nothing wrong with that. If some weird sounds come out, I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry. I'm happy. But in the meantime, if they don't, what we're going to be really trying to absorb is the frequencies within the mantras, the hand movements. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. Your hands are directly linked to your heart. This is why we have so many wonderful things that come as a result of hand movements. You know, we have artistry, paintings, drawings. We have musical symphony movement. Like, they're so wonderful. Use your hands. They are just gifts from God for sure. So let's get rolling. Let's expand those heart spaces. I love you so much. Sit within this place. Whatever colors come to you, close your eyes. Focus on your own colors. You don't need to sit here and think of the color blue. That's not it at all. What colors come to you is what you're going to require in your physicality, mentality, emotionality, all of the layers of you. So we never want to take someone else's advice on what should come up during activations within ourselves. We simply take the activation, the code, and we allow it to work on our own templates. Love and light, guys. Here we go. Mwah. So everyone take a breath in. They want us to ground our own energies into allowing our channel to open up. So they're just doing some basic chakra alignment right now. And to the throat is always particularly important because we will be speaking truth within full disclosure. We will be getting many, many full disclosure moments within the escalation of the event. Acceleration, pick your word. This is upon us. They're saying we are cresting into the finale. Now, I don't want to put any timelines on this. I really don't know, you guys. There's so many people out there talking about the event, when it was going to happen. I legitimately thought it was going to happen last year. I mean, that's fine too. We are trying to comprehend and understand things outside of our human capabilities. And the very fact of trying to understand space and time isn't easy. And so for us to even try, they're saying, to give out a date and time isn't going to be they want me to use the word synchronicities. There's going to be no synchronicities involved with the actual event that are going to be pinpointed on by the masses or the majority of light workers. We're not able to give something tangible, a tangible thing, to the accumulation of an event quite like the Big Bang. Like that is what they're saying, the Big Bang. I'm sure we all have our own ideas of the event and what it looks like. None of these are wrong. And that's confusing on its own, isn't it? It is simply your perspective of the truth. So how does that look coming into your being? And what you would be better served with is a more broad perspective of tying in everybody's perspectives to get a fuller picture, because it's not coming from one particular person. This event is universal. So it is going to be a frequency mass, a culmination. It's like having a gauge that hits a certain level and then boom, it's upon us. So I have to do work here. This should help to alleviate. So this is the funny thing here. It will help in some to alleviate the ringing of the ears and the itchiness, which is really you tuning into the world, the universe, and all of the frequencies. In particular, the Schumann resonance plays in largely to the ringing in the ears. It's just that you're hearing things other people can't hear. So this activation may help to smooth or appease that in others, but it can also trigger that in you with your own heart expansion, because that might be somewhere that you are expanding, stepping into your true heart space, your true essence. You might need to expand here, and that will bring in the ringing. So you might get ringing as a result. So don't be alarmed. We're going to talk more about the ascension symptoms as we're doing the coding here as being delivered, because there's so many people going through these ascension symptoms right now. And actually, some people have passed from their own symptoms, and that can happen because we're taking in light. It's like being a conduit for light as a light worker. You can't take in more than you can hold, and some people have not balanced simply their physical being. Okay, they're saying I am worrying people. No, that's not what we're here to talk about. I'm simply saying some people have passed, and that is natural. That's natural. These ascension symptoms will keep growing. That's in particular what they're trying to say. So let's work on how to smoothly transition so that it's not so hard on us, because it hurts, right? I have went through my own heart expansions. So I will get mini heart expansions and I can feel them. And I have had, I would say, 2 giant, huge upheavals where it's like my heart basically shriveled like the Grinch, crumbled, exploded, birthed this brand new heart. All these new colors coming into play, because you birth new color, because the colors of your aura, yourself, whatever ray that you bring in or belong to, those colors are also enhancing within our expansion. So you're getting new levels, new colors, new frequencies that can feel in those times, if you've experienced this yourself, this is only my experience, such a heart fluttering for days, shortness of breath, tightness in the chest, to the point where if I wasn't so in tune with myself, my guidance, I would have went to the hospital thinking that I was having a heart attack, for real. So this does happen to people, and people do go to the hospital and try to be diagnosed. You can get false diagnoses at these points. You may also find that they will just give you a clean bill of health, and you will walk out of the office like, oh, because they're ascension symptoms, and they are huge ones. That's what's coming into play through October, November, because we're going into 2021. I don't want to talk about 2021 yet because it's so wonderful, but I know it's hard to say it's so wonderful when 2020 seems so bad, but I'm telling you, 2020 was so wonderful. I know there's a lot of bad things that came with it, but my God, did we ever move in 2020? These shutdowns, these isolations, as horrible as it is to be stuck in them and going through them, what they really are and what they will really equivalent to when all is said and done is a magnitude of change that we have been asking for. And we are shutting down systems left and right, and the masses are fighting it and arguing about it and screaming out in terror, and it's like the end of the world. But these systems were meant to collapse, and so we would be much better off to understand what is playing out and to allow and accept the collapse of these gigantic structures, gigantic systems. I mean, what does it take to shut down globally? What does it take to affect global systems that have been in play for eons of time? Well, it looks like a pandemic, you guys. Like, that's what it looks like. We're in it. It's happening. These things are changing. Lots of them permanently, lots of them shutting doors forever because we don't need them. It's redundant. We do not need these things, and we are trying to cross the threshold into the development of new systems. That's what we should be focusing on, is the new systems. So with that in mind, do the work, guys. Expand, expand, expand. Dig deep. And I'm here to tell you, you're doing well. You're okay, and you will be fine. Please tune into your guides. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. That means what it needs. What are you eating? Are you resting? Or maybe you don't want to sleep right now. Maybe you're in a productive chain of events. Well, then work, work, work. Go with the flow. That's the best advice we can give you. Go with the flow. We're getting there. I know it's been rough. I know it continues to be rough. I love you so much for all of your efforts, all of your strength, all of your determination. Please continue the journey with us, and we will end up at the lighthouse. We will get to where our hearts are telling us to go. Love and light, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.